হুম। আচ্ছা, তারপরে এটা নিচে করতে হবে। ওকে, ঠিক। কিন্তু উপরে যাচ্ছে না তো। ও, ইয়া, ইয়া। Okay. Namaste to everyone. Hey, yes, sound turning.
Namaste, Swami.
To come karo. On. Yes, yes. Okay, fine. Okay, we'll start with our prayer. Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Aviravirmayedhi. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Akhandam Satchidanandam Avangmanasagोचरम Atmanam Akhiladharam Ashrayebhishta Siddhaye. Let we be protected, let we be nourished. Let we strive with energy and vigor. Let our study be enlightening and not give rise to hostility. Om peace, peace, peace. Lead us to truth and not to untruth. Lead us to enlightenment and not ignorance. Lead us to immortality and not death. Let the self-manifest Atman grow in me. Om peace, peace, peace. I take refuge in the self, the indivisible, the existence, consciousness, bliss, absolute, beyond the reach of words and thought, and the substratum of all, for the attainment of my cherished desires. So, before we start today, let us consider this point. Whenever we are thoughtful, so if we are not thoughtful, then we don't bother about it. We enjoy whatever we are. But when we are thoughtful, then we try to understand what is this world? What is this individual self? And who organizes this? Who created this? Not only that, what is its ultimate goal? So all these questions will come. From devotees' standpoint, what we do, that we hear from our elders, God has created this. Okay, God somewhere sitting maybe on the seventh heaven. Oh God, please help us. So always we are begging from Him. Okay, come closer. Then not only begging, as Sri Ramakrishna says that He is our own mother. She is our own mother. We can force our demand. So like Sri Ramakrishna said that He, God is our own mother. Let us read a little of that. A man cannot get rid of body consciousness as long as he is attached to worldly things and loves woman and gold. As he becomes less and less attached to worldly things, he approaches nearer and nearer to the knowledge of self. He also becomes less and less conscious of his body. He attains self-knowledge when his worldly attachment totally disappears. Then he realizes that body and soul are two different things. It is very difficult to separate separate with knife the kernel of coconut from the shell before the milk inside has dried up. When the milk dries up, the kernel rattles inside the shell. At that time, it loosens itself from the shell. Then the fruit is called a dry coconut. Pray to the Divine Mother with a longing heart. Her vision dries up all craving for the worldly and completely destroys all attachment to woman and gold. It happens instantly if you think of her as your own mother. She is by no means a godmother. She is your own mother. With a yearning heart, persist in your demands on her. So this is what the devotees would like to do. Similarly, karmis, they want to work for others. They serve others. And yogis are always, they are trying to realize the self, negating the adjuncts, upadhis. So they would like to meditate on the reality. Now what about jnanis? Jnanis will analyze. Okay, what is this? We see something, we call it name and form. And we understand something is matter, inert, but something is conscious. How we can understand that consciousness? Like example, I'll give you example. Like a mobile phone. So here we see a form and we have a name also. But it works. That means there is some consciousness. Otherwise it would not have worked. And there is whole lot of things. So jnani tries to understand what the world is. And he puts his conscious exploration into practical discovery. Scientists, what they do? They put their attention to particular problem and they discover the inner principle behind that phenomenon. Similarly, jnanis, they do this. Now, we have already covered what is ajnana, but before that, we go to our friend David to read from the complete works of Swami Vivekananda. Then we go to the text proper. Yes. David.
Can you hear me, Swami?
Yes.
Okay. I'm reading from Reason and Religion. And indeed, we shall be fools if we go to the Father of all mercy, Father of all love, for trivial earthly things. Unto him, therefore, we shall go for light, for strength, for love. But so long as there is weakness and a craving for servile dependence in us, There will be these little prayers and ideas of the worship of the personal God. But those who are highly advanced do not care for such little helps. They have well nigh forgotten all about this seeking things for themselves, wanting things for themselves. The predominant idea in them is, not I, but thou, my brother. Those are the fit persons to worship the impersonal God. And what is the worship of the impersonal God? No slavery there. O Lord, I am nothing. Have mercy on me.
Okay, just a
You
minute. Just a minute. Say a scientist will not ask from anyone. He would like to discover what is the inherent principle behind. So he observes a phenomena, tries to analyze it, tries to discover the principle behind. He doesn't say, oh thing, please reveal yourself. No. He puts his attention, one-pointed attention, and through concentration he discovers. He knows the relationship. So the first thing is the principle is within it. And the second is it is to be explored. And as we put our attention, we can discover. It is not like beggars, like, oh Lord, I'm nothing, have mercy on me. So it is not like that. Rather, it is to own the principle that is already within us. So this has challenge. Of course, there is no harm, thinking of we Indians, we do lots of things. We do pujas. We worship Mother Saraswati, but we don't study that day. So Mother, deity of learning, we worship Mother. It is good, in one way, that it gives us incentive or orientation for discovering things. It gives concentration. But if we stop there, then it is nothing. Rather, after that, with that concentration, we explore. Then only it has worth. Okay, go ahead.
You know the old Persian poem translated into English. I came to see my beloved. The doors were closed. I knocked, and a voice came from inside. Who art thou? I am so and so. The door was not opened. A second time I came and knocked. I was asked the same question and gave the same answer. The door opened not. I came a third time, and the same question came. I answered, I am thee, my love, and the door opened. Worship of the impersonal God is through truth. And what is truth? That I am He. When I say that I am not thou, it is untrue. When I say that I am separate from you, it is a lie. A terror. I am one with this universe, born one. It is self-evident to my senses that I am one with the universe. I am one with the air that surrounds me, one with heat, one with light, eternally one with the whole universal being who is called this universe, who is mistaken for the universe. For it is he and nothing else, the eternal subject in the heart who says, I am, in every heart. The deathless one, the sleepless one, ever awake, the immortal, whose glory never dies, whose powers never fail. I am one with that.
Okay. See, now just a minute. Like this, a scientist, he knocks, but it is not opened. He'd say, the scientist would say, it is, oh Lord, I am so and so. The door was not opened. But next he penetrates. And time comes when he says, I am thee, my love, and the door opens. That means when the revelation comes, that scientist, as it were, I'm just taking an example. It may not be 100% exactly what is being said, because it is not Prakriti Laya. Just to understand that a scientist approaches, and as he concentrates and becomes one with the problem, he discovers the truth, because the solution lies within. Nowadays, people are trying to explore artificial intelligence. And not only that, they are trying to figure out what is this quantum computing. So whole vistas. And it is amazing. But it is all in Prakriti. What I am saying is only for example. As we concentrate, we become one with the problem, or we go near the solution, then only we discover solution, because solution lies within the problem. So here also we'll try through our knowledge to explore what is this, the same reality, same truth, manifesting as many. That is why this is also important. This is Jnana Yoga, to understand and to explore and to find out what is that reality, who is one, but who is manifesting as many, as created things. Who creates? Who is behind everything? So this all things will come and sit in places. Yeah.
This is all the worship of the impersonal. And what is the result? The whole life of man will be changed. Strength, strength, it is that we want so much in this life. For what we call sin and sorrow have all one cause, and that is our weakness. With weakness comes ignorance, and with ignorance comes misery. It will make us strong. Then miseries will be laughed at. Then the violence of the vile will be smiled at, and the ferocious tiger will reveal, behind its tiger's nature, my own self. That will be the result. That soul is strong that has become one with the Lord. None else is strong. In your own Bible, what do you think was the cause of that strength, of Jesus of Nazareth? That immense, infinite strength which laughed at traitors and blessed those that were willing to murder him. It was that. I and my Father are one. It was that prayer, Father, just as I am one with you, so make them all one with me. That is the worship of the impersonal God. Be one with the universe, be one with him. And this impersonal God requires no demonstrations, no proofs. He is nearer to us than even our senses, nearer to us than our own thoughts. It is in and through him that we see and think. To see anything, I must first see him. To see this wall, I first see him, and then the wall. For he is the eternal subject.
Okay.
Who is seen?
Okay, so the example that we are giving of a scientist. Scientist always tries to analyze, tries to find out the relationship and principle behind the objective world. He is not concerned about subject, but what we are talking about, it is the subject. Subject is appearing as many. That is why Sri Ramakrishna said that as we concentrate, and when maturity comes, it is like a dry shell of coconut. Then the kernel is separated from the shell. So this is to discover the subject, eternal subject. So here, impersonal is that eternal subject. Eternal subject is manifesting as many objects. So, yeah, go ahead.
Who is seeing whom? He is here in the heart of our hearts. Bodies and minds change. Misery, happiness, good and evil come and go. Days and years roll on. Life comes and goes, but he dies not. The same voice, I am, is eternal, unchangeable. In him and through him we know everything. In him and through him we see everything. In him and through him we sense, we think, we live, and we are. And that I, which we mistake to be a little I, limited, is not only my I, but yours, the I of everyone, of the animals, of the angel, of the lowest of the low. That I am is the same in the murderer as in the saint, the same in the rich as in the poor, the same in man as in woman, the same in man as in animals. From the lowest amoeba to the highest angel, he resides in every soul, and eternally declares, I am he, I am he. When we have understood that voice eternally present there, when we have learnt this lesson, the whole universe will have expressed its secret. Nature will have given up her secret to us. Nothing more remains to be known. Thus we find the truth for which all religions search, that all this knowledge of material sciences is but secondary. That is the only true knowledge which makes us one with this universal God of the universe.
So, gradually, science also is trying to figure out what is this observer, who is observing. Without observation, it is in superposition. We do not know what this world is, whether it exists or not. But as soon as the subject identifies, witnesses it, then it comes to being. So our search is impersonal. Our search is to find out that is the cause of everything. So with this introduction, let us go forward. What we have already studied. So we have studied what is ignorance, ajnana. What is ignorance, ajnana? It is anadi, without beginning, and therefore without end. When it started, we do not know. Why? Because time started after that. It is like this. In your dream, the time starts with the dream. That's why your dream is also, we do not know when it started. When you come out of the dream, then you compare with your another state that's called Jagrata. So then you can compare. Oh, I slept for 2 hours, so my dream must have started 1 hour back. When you are comparing with your waking state, that is not what is being said. See, we are in this. When it started, nobody knows. It's again, time is not absolute. Einstein has shown that time is only relative. Anyway, here let us go as the Vedanta explains this. Anadi. Anadi means without beginning. Without that, therefore without end also. Then anirvachani. Anirvachani, you cannot say what it is exactly. You go to movie and you start seeing it. And you identify with it. And you understand it is real. But you come out laughing, though you are weeping in the movie theater. Or in your dream, you were weeping, but when you wake up, then you are not affected by it. So, anirvachaniya, how this happens, it cannot be explained. Then comes trigunatmika. Trigunatmika means it has 3 states. One is sattva, very pure. It is near the truth, that's why it is pure. And rajas and tamas. Say, if I take the example of movie, the writer of movie is he writes with his knowledge. That's why it is pure. And it is with knowledge. Then some actions happen. And then something gross also should be there. So for example, there is a mobile phone. There should be something gross, like a form. But only gross will not work. There must be some mechanics. It should work. Some reception and also transmission should be there. And then behind that is the software writer who wrote software, not in one day. It's a collective. So when it is together, then only it works. How it works? So their knowledge is very important. So it is sattvic, so trigunatmika. Then bhavarupa. Bhavarupa means bhavarupa, like something is there. So through our mobile phone, it is the intellect, the consciousness of the programmer that is working. I'm giving example. Everything may not tally with example. Like when I give example of a tiger, he is like a tiger. That means that he is valorous. It's not that he has a big mouth, big face. Now, bhava rupa, yat kinchit, whatever it is there. And jnana virodhi. Jnana virodhi, why? Because when knowledge is done, then it is not seen, it is not recognized. Like darkness, if you bring light, it goes immediately. Sakrut vibhati. So what are trigunatmika? Sattva, rajas and tamas. Now, ajnana has two powers. One is covering power. Like if a person, ignorant person, he sees only form of a mobile. He is not aware of the networking, and then so many people have contributed their intelligence to write the software, and so many things in the cable and how it works, how electricity energizes, all these things he does not understand. So that's called avarini shakti. In small, that stock example is given as we see a snake on a rope. So a snakeness is covered by ignorance, and then it projects as vikshepa, that means snake, vikshepa shakti, so projecting power. Now, ajnana type. So one is samashti. Samashti means when it is taken together. These are important, so just we are going through. So one is when taken together. Say you are sitting there, I am sitting here. So when it is taken together, the whole humanity and whole universe. So this is samashti ajnana. And Veshti Ajnana means individual. I do not know something. Say, I do not know programming. Similar. So here, example is given as a forest. Forest has got many individual trees. So when individual tree is taken, that is Veshti. Veshti means individual. And when it is taken together, the whole forest is called Samashti, cosmic. So we take the whole universe, it is Samashti, Samashti Ajnana. So, what is the next? How to go? No, not going. Oh. Okay. Now there are three This is, to classify, to understand what is this world. So Jagat, so when it is taken collectively, it is Jagat. And when it is taken individually, it is Vishwa. It is Avasthatraya. Avasthatraya means we have three states. One is called Jagrat. Or Jagrat. So Vishwa means whatever we see, all taken together, Vishwa. And then Swapna. Swapna means in our dream state. And third is Sushupti, dreamless state. So, the individual soul, Vishwa, and when, say like this in Jagrat, so experience is called Vishwa, it is technical term. And the in our dream, whatever the person who experiences is called Taijasa. And third is Prajna, the Shushupti in state. So everything is merged together in that state. And Turiya holds all three. That means everything survives because of Turiya. Turiya means fourth. Now we have Sharira, three kinds of bodies. One is Sthula, like here, it is like a mobile phone, whatever is gross can be touched. Similarly, this body, Sharira. So what is that? Sthula Sharira, gross body. And then Shukshma Sharira, like my mind, intellect, ego, all these are Shukshma Sharira. And then causal body, Karana Sharira. That means what is the cause behind it. I give example of, see this building. When we see the building, that is gross building. But behind there some principles are working. Like gravitational force and strength of things, all kinds of things. So these are the Shukshma. But the Karana is the first time when somebody came and said there should be a house, and then house came. So that's Karana, cause. So similarly here, Sharira Traya. Then Pancha Kosha, we have 5 koshas. What are those? We have Annamaya Kosha, this body, which is nourished by food, so it is called Annamaya. The second is Pranamaya, like I am moving, I am speaking, I am breathing, all these, the activities that is going on, it's because of Prana. Prana Shakti means vital forces. Then called Manomaya. Manomaya means mind, thinking, cogitating, grasping something or living something. Sankalpa, Vikalpa. Then the second is Vijnanamaya Kosha. Vijnanamaya is intellectual understanding, or through intellect whatever we understand. When I am speaking, I am trying to understand, is it right word to say, to convey the idea, or it is not. So that is intellectual. So that's the Vijnanamaya. So this is a kosha by which the sheath, by which it is covering. And then Anandamaya Kosha, that is Shukshma, Karana Sharira, Shukshma, where, say in deep sleep, we enjoy. And though we don't understand, but in the morning we say, oh, I slept so very well that I did not know anything. So that's Anandamaya. When mind is very pure, that time also we experience joy, bliss, Ananda. Then Avasthatraya, 3 states. Jagrat, Swapna, Shushupti we have explained. Then Antakarana. So what are Antakarana? Antakarana means inner instrument. We have 10 outer instruments. What are those? 5 sense organs, eyes, ears, then skin, olfactory, say like nose, and then tactile, that means sensation. So eyes, ears, and nose, and taste. So 5 senses by which we gather information from outer world and try to understand, try to assess what it is. So 5 sense organs of knowledge, 5 organs of knowledge, and 5 organs of action. We walk, we grab something, we speak, walk, pani, pada, payu, upastha, and organs of evacuation and organ of procreation. So these are 5 organs. And antakarana are inner instrument, that means mana, mind, intellect, that means buddhi, intellect, chitta, chitta means the mind stuff, that means the lake is like, which holds all these things, and ahamkara. Ahamkara means I am, sense of ego. Mana, buddhi, chitta, and ahamkara. These are internal organ, internal instrument. This is already done. Okay, so we'll stop there. Now let us go to the text. We have already covered a lot of things. Now we'll go very quickly. So let us go to 38. So Upahita Chaitanya. Upahita Chaitanya, here we have to understand what is Upahita Chaitanya. We are talking about to find out that consciousness who is holding everything. So when it is Samashti, then it is Vishuddha Sattva. Vishuddha Sattva Pradhana. And when it is individual, say like this, if somebody throws some ink on my shirt, it is dirty. But the same thing when it is thrown to the ocean, it is nothing, not noticeable. Even you can bring a whole mountain of black ink, it will not affect. So ajnana, when it is veshti, then it affects. But when it is samashti, it does not affect. Similarly, say poison. For a snake, a little of poison, when it discharges to others, that may kill that animal or creature. But the whole poison is held by a snake. It does not affect him. So, here we have already we talked about it, that say God is holding the whole thing. That means ajnana. Ajnana upahita chaitanya. So when God is holding this ajnana, it is not affecting him. But same ajnana, when we are holding, it affects us. We are miserable, we are full of sorrow, and we are a creature of circumstances. So, etat upahitam chaitanyam sarvajnatva sarveshwaratva sarvaniyantritva adi gunakam avyaktam antaryami jagat karanam ishvara. So, when ajnana, same ajnana, see, it is like this. You go to movie and you are affected by that. But a person who has conceived that movie, he knows the whole plot. And he even conceives hero, he conceives villain. And he is not affected by it. But you, me, are affected. So, upahita chaitanya, that means the consciousness that is uh, holding or like conceiving that idea. Consciousness associated with this is endowed with such qualities as omniscience. See, the conceiver of the plot knows everything of that plot. So it is omniscience, as it were. Universal lordship, all controlling power. So, sarvagyatva, sarvaishwaratva. That means he is the controller, he is the owner. Sarvaniyanta, he controls everything. Endowed with such qualities as consciousness, omniscience, universal lordship, all controlling power, etc. And is designated as the undifferentiated. Undifferentiated, why? Because it cannot be explained. Who is this God? When you are watching a movie, you are engrossed in the movie. Okay, let us take another example. Your dream. You are engrossed in dream. You don't know who has created this dream. So this is also because of you are conscious being. That is why the dream also comes. So it is called, that's why called, it is undifferentiated, all controlling power, etc. And is designated as the undifferentiated, the inner guide, antaryami. Being within the storyline, he controls everything, as it were. And the inner guide, the cause. Cause means he is the karana. Because of him, everything is written. Of the world and Ishvara on account of its being the illuminator. Because of Ishvara, because of God, because of the storyteller, the whole story is understood. So, illuminator of the aggregate of ignorance. As in the Shruti passage also says that. What is it says? Yah sarvajna sarvavit. He is the knower of everything in general and everything in particular. So if someone, sadhaka, he lifts himself and becomes one with the Lordship, then he also knows everything in particular and in general. Yah sarvajna sarvavit. Tasya jnanamayam tapah. Yasyaisha bhuvi. Yah sarvajna sarvit. Yasyaisha mahima bhuvi divye. Brahmapure hesha. Bomnya atma pratisthita. So, who is residing within the self, within this individual self, where he is Bomni, the Akasha that is there. Within this, there is Akasha, Akasha of consciousness. So, in that Akasha, Chidakasha we call, Chidakasha he resides. And because of him, mind is animated. The vital forces are acting, animated. And this body is also acting. It is because of him. As soon as it departs from the body stops functioning. So we go to the next, otherwise we will not proceed. So now Ishwarasya yam samashtihi akhila karanatvat karana sharira ananda prachuratvat. Now the aggregate of ignorance associated with Ishvara is known as the causal body on account of its being. Say, like I give that example of a writer. He has conceived the whole plot. So he is playing with ignorance, or is a magician. He is fooling others. So he is the master of that trick. So he knows everything. So Ishvara is known as the causal body on account of its being the cause of all. And as the Anandamaya Kosha, because he enjoys. When you are full, he enjoys. The blissful sheep. So here, what we have to understand? Say in our dreamless state, we enjoy. But that is the state when all the ignorance is merged in the self. So, this aggregate of ignorance associated with Ishvara, Ishvara means God, so here technical, Ishvara, is known as the causal body on account of its being the cause of all, and as the Anandamaya Kosha, that means blissful sheep, on account of its being full of bliss and covering like a sheep. So he covers, see, God covers its own real nature and projects it so that all other people are confused, but he enjoys. That means he is out of this misery. It is further known as the cosmic sleep. So like this, cosmic sleep, when it is taken together, samashti, collective, then it is the cosmic sleep. Shushupti. Shushupti avastha. So Shushupti avastha, when it is collective, then it is cosmic sleep. As into it everything is dissolved, and for this reason it is designated as the state of dissolution of the gross and subtle phenomena. So what happens? Take it individual. When we go to deep sleep, what happens? The gross world crumbles. Even the dream world also absorbed in the Shushupti state, deep sleep state. So everything is merged. So Shushupti eva sthula shukshma prapanchalaya sthanam iti cha uchyate. So that is the Shushupti is the place where gross, subtle, waking and dreaming, everything merged. So that's a prapanchalaya sthanam. So this is the place where everything is merged. Now taken as individual. Yatha vanasya veshti abhiprayana vriksha iti anekatva vipadesho yathava jalashayasya veshti abhiprayana jalaniti. Now two kinds of things being said. One is when it is the consciousness is covering. Consciousness is covering. Say, if a forest, when the forest is covering by consciousness, so it is called covering. So avacheda bad. And when it is, say, water, in water you can see the reflection of the whole sky. So it is called Pratibimbavad. Let me repeat it, what is being said. Say, I am here, sitting here. Space is covering me. So what is happening? Space is broken by my form, as it were. Or we can say that Akasha space as distinct by this body. So it is like distinction, but it is Akasha is never distinct. Akasha is through and through. But still there is a little of separation. So Akasha space, say it is outside of me, it is inside of me. So it is, that's why avachinna, avachedak. So samashti karanatvat shariratvam ananda. Okay. Yatha vanasya veshti abhiprayana vriksha iti ekatva vyapadesha. So individual tree is one, and individual droplet is one. So what is happening? Akash is covering, as it were, that much. Or we can take another way, the space that is reflected in the water, though it is not connected, but still the whole Akasha is reflected as a drop of water. The sun is reflected in it. So sun, the whole sun can be seen there. Though it is not connected, but similarly, this world is reflecting in Brahman, in the highest being. So individually also it is being reflected, and we can say collectively also it is reflected. So the two examples are given. Yatha vanasya veshti abhiprayena vriksha iti anekatva vyapadesho yathava jalashayasya veshti abhiprayena jalaniti tatha jnanasya veshti abhiprayena tad anekatva vyapadesha. What is that? As a forest, from the standpoint of the units that compose it, may be designated as a number of trees, and as a reservoir from the same point of view may be spoken of as quantities of water. So also ignorance, when denoting separate units, is spoken of as many. As in such Shruti passages, Indra through Maya appears as of many forms. So here also, so it is because of Maya, Indra is manifesting himself as many. Indro Maya bhi Pururupa Yad. So that's why we have individual understanding. So I am individual, you are individual. How this happens? Though the truth is one, but because of this Maya, he appears as many. As the magician, though he is one, but he appears as many. Atra vyasta samasta vyapitvena vyashti samashti vyapyadeshaha. Ignorance has been designated as the individual and collective on account of its pervading the units of the aggregate. I give example now. This is a mobile phone. So we can take it individually. So ignorance is covered individually. But if we take the whole network, so many mobile phones taken together, so that is the samashti. Samashti means collective. So think about it. It has a gross form, and it has also some mechanical activities are going on, but behind the whole thing there is the consciousness that is working. Without consciousness, nothing works. So consciousness behind this individual telephone or say mobile phone is limited, but consciousness with the whole thing is as if unlimited, but both are the same consciousness. So ignorance has been designated as individual and collective on account of its pervading the units and the aggregate. So here unit, say similarly we can take individual person. So this is individual, but when it is taken collectively, then it is the whole. So yam veshti nikrishtupadhitaya malini sattva pradhan. So when it is taken as individual, so it is malina sattva. Malina sattva means sattva. It has also consciousness, but it is of lower nature. Whereas when it is taken collectively, it is Shuddha Sattva Pradhan. So this is, we have to understand from that standpoint. So etat upahitam chaitanyam alpagyatva. So when it is taken individually, say, I have also chaitanya. But because it is limited, we have understanding, oh, I don't know this, alpagyatva, I know a little. Anishwartva, I cannot control. So those same consciousness is pervading, but it is because of individual, it is limited. And therefore, one can feel that I know a little, I cannot control, I am slave like. Adi gunakam pragya ittuchyate. Eka ajnana avabhasakatvat. Because this is the ignorance that is being projected by individual self. Individual self. Asya pragyatvam aspashta upadhitaya anati prakashatvat. Because of not clear, it is called pragya. So this is a name is given for this, as it is deficient in illumination on account of its association with a dull limiting adjunct. Though this is also consciousness, but it has limiting adjunct with individual self. That is why it experiences that I do not know much, I know only little, and I am limited, and I am being governed by someone. So it is like individual citizen. President governs the whole country, but individual citizen governs only himself, or maybe when it is taken collectively as family, so he governs the family. Otherwise, individual. Similarly, individual mobile phone is pertaining to the individual. So it has consciousness, but it is limited. Whereas the networking taken together is all-knowing. Okay. So I think, it may be a little difficult, but and then the problem is we are not face to face. That's another reason. But this is a bit technical. But this way, same consciousness is being reflected as many. Also individual and collective as one. So when it is individual, same consciousness is manifesting in so many forms. And when it is taken together, it is the same consciousness. So any question? Because the time is almost up.
Swami,
Yeah.
I have one question, but it's not related
Yes.
to that tomorrow. I think Paul's not back yet. Okay.
Go ahead. I could not hear from you. David?
That was the only question I had, Swami.
Which one?
About whether you want me to read tomorrow.
Oh,
That was all. Thank you.
read tomorrow.
Because Paul's not back from India yet?
Huh?
Paul is not returned from India until next week.
Oh, that one. Yes. So tomorrow, yes, tomorrow we'll have class, but you will break for Christmas from next week.
Okay.
Okay, we'll say our prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tatsat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. So this is the effort to understand logically the same truth, how and why it looks manifesting as many and also with limitation. Some has limitation, some the Ishvara has no limitation. How this is possible? So this is the effort to understand logically. Through devotion, one submits without understanding, and it is not bad, like a child may not understand who his mother is, but he totally loves his mother, that is good. But this is to understand our reality, what we really are, logically. So it may be a little challenging, but this is another way. Thank you very much.
Maharaj.
Namaste.
Maharaj.